Hello everybody, video here for you today. It's the Curse of Oak Island, looks back and ahead, episode 1210, season 12, episode 10. And we have ZIG back with us today because after recapping the season 8, episode 5, I had a question. And so what happened with that was a geographic instruments expert, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but an
Oh,
expert
GIS.
figured
She
out
was
what. Beg your pardon?
GIS. GIS,
Graphic
Geographic Information
information
Services.
systems.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes, systems.
expert.
Yeah.
Figured out through a variety of alignments that the yellow dot here would be the best spot for a caisson as to far as where the original money pit is. And you can take a look at all of the different steps she went through in my video recap of that. And I will put a link in the upper right. And yep. And it ended up being just a little bit in front of the RF1 location, which we'll see that in just a second. So this is what she ended up with. And I don't know how it turned out yet because I haven't gone further than that. So I don't know how they followed up on it or even if they did. But here's the RF1 location. And they were still hot on that because they had just done that at the end of season 7. And they brought up old wood with Roman numerals carved into it. And the carbon dating fit into the original shaft time period. And so that's why that was their best guess as to where it was, and it ended up being very close to her dot on there. And now what happened with me is I thought, well, this is a long view of it. I thought, hey, there's one caisson left at the end of the filming for the season. Yep.
There's a case
For
on them.
season 12, right. There's one caisson in the ground. You can see it there kind of in the center of this image. And it's kind of aligned with the garden shaft. You can't see it so much on this image, but a closer up, you can see the garden shaft right there in the upper right, almost
My
middle.
sexy yellow minivan.
Yeah. And you can see where that caisson is, and that they did not take out at the end of the season. And the prevailing thought on that is they're not done exploring that hole. And so I thought, hey, maybe that is the exact location that the Geographic Information Systems expert picked out. And so I can't figure out that kind of stuff. And so guess what? Zig made the mistake of adding me on Discord so I can send him a message whenever I want. And I said, hey, what do you think
Steve
about
sends
that?
me images a lot. It's nice, actually.
Ray.
He catches things I don't, just like Jeff does, and we all collaborate on the speculation department.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And so
As the new day dawns on Oak Island.
he's gonna take you through what he found out about that.
Let's go.
There you are.
Okay, so welcome to my map
Hi,
of Oak
map.
Island. Hey, Map. How's it going, Map? It's
I'm
all
the
right.
map. I'm the map.
Okay.
I'm the map.
Yeah.
I'm the
So as
map.
you can see, this is the image that Steve Money sent me, and we started looking at how that relates to things that are on the island. As I always caution with these images when they throw these little markers and stuff on there, there's only so much accuracy in that. I kind of explain it as being more graphical than accurate. They obviously don't want us to know exactly where they're putting things that's why we have to do all this speculation and determination and all that good stuff. So
And you can't
what we
even
did was,
trust Google Maps.
yeah, I
They
mean, we
have
took
stuff
her
blurred
map. Yeah,
out and
they'll change an
stuff.
image on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I did was I
So
took the
sorry,
image that
Google. They own YouTube as well, so probably
they
shouldn't
own
be
it all.
too.
They own it all. Right. Good old Alphabet company. That's
Yes.
why I was talking them. Anyway,
Yep. I have plenty of Google in my mutual funds for sure.
yeah, it's a good thing. So what I did was I took the image that Steve sent me of her graphic representation of where she believed the caisson should go, uh, and did it more by features on the island than by her strategic points. Because again, graphic representation. So you can see this is her arm of Nolan's cross. This is the little purple dot is kind of her representation of cone B. But you can see, and you have to understand, I feel like my map's a little more accurate than this graphic image is. So I kind of trust my points more than I trust some other people's. So just because I've gone through the math and done the geometric calculations and everything to try and figure out where things are, it doesn't mean that I'm right. It just means that I'm believing myself. So this is my CB compared to hers. So what we did was we started looking at, oh, well, if this is her West Point, where would my West Point be? Well, it'd be down into the south a little bit. And sure enough, I already had a boulder in the swamp marked at that location. That's what all these little gray dots are that you see. Those are me referencing stones that I've seen in the swamp at other areas. There's the eye of the swamp. This is the little creek stream that runs through. Crick, if you're my mom, crick running through the. And then Nolan's Peninsula, you can see here is a little submerged. The yellow outline you see there is when it was a little drier and they'd taken some of the water out of the swamp. So that's why there's a difference. Here's the stone road, the swamp cone, which is very close to what she's calling her 15A spot. So what we did was we drew a circle with a line from her west center point and used the location of 18A as the radius, or actually that intersection of this line and this line to make her red line, right? Or her, yeah, what is the red circle here? Excuse me if I get hung up on myself. Uh, so that intersection point is actually right here, and it may be tough to see with her very large yellow dot covering everything in the money pit. But RF1 is here. Is this showing up on your screen, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. You
Hmm.
tell? Okay. So RF1 being in this location, which is again where they've shown, and we'll look at this image a little bit here in just a little bit, but where they've shown all these red circles all indicate locations of potential caissons for season 12. The red circles with the numbers inside of them are all borehole locations that have already been drilled on season 12 as I'm keeping up with them. These are no longer in the ground. See where I've got references to the muon, and that you'll see how that applies to the image that they shared in the war room of the caissons here in just a little bit. But anyway, getting back to her location. So Steve and I are kind of determining that through this math and the geometry and everything, that this location is kind of what she was maybe considering to be that 3 feet, right, Steve? What
Yes.
she was calling 3 feet southeast of RF1.
RF1, right.
So you can see, I don't know, it's a little off, and maybe that's why they've decided to stack these caissons to try and continue that southeast run off of RF1. The only thing I can speculate at this point. Um, but what really caught our interest and what kind of got us talking about let's make a video was we carried that line through. Well, we continued to watch how that circle was playing out. And while we were up here looking at where the slate and brick feature are in the swamp that they've just found this season, also showing that it was about 60 yards from Anthony Graves' house, thanks to Jeff Freeman and sharing his little map of Anthony Graves' map. And I think Henry DeWitt worked on that overlay too. So good job, Henry. I like seeing his overlays too. It's always nice to see other people's work too.
Can't have too much
Uh,
data.
yeah, Nick can never have too much data. That's right. So what we realized was her circle and my circle fall really close to that slate feature. So if that's not mind blowing, but then what we did was we took a line and continued it through that circle And we started to say, oh, well, man, that's really coincidental that it really gives of it to, to fall that close to lot 5 as well. So then I started looking at the other end of the line and was, man, that sure falls close to the southern anchor and the HO stone and the stone triangle also. So, again, geometry is geometry. Sometimes you can maybe overthink it. I know I'm an overthinker,
Me too.
but man, what a coincidence, eh?
Which is why I thought of it in the first place.
And like Steve, I wish Steve had that video he was going to play of Rick saying, "At what point do you say these can't all be
Right.
coincidences?"
How
Right,
many how many coincidences do you need before you
for
say, okay,
actuality,
maybe they're not coincidences?
probabilities go up,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'm gonna turn on this layer. Give me just a second. We got like 568 layers to go through, so
And at some point the end of your presentation perhaps you'll be saying where you think that last case on actually is.
yeah, I'll right, and that's what I'm gonna
Because
do. I'm gonna pull up.
because guess what, shocker, I was wrong about that. It's not
You're
the
being too hard on yourself.
it's not the season 8 that pick location where the I mean it is in the yellow dot, right? Because the yellow dot's so big when you zoom
The
in.
yellow dot is huge, right? It's like a yard dart compared to a regular normal dart. So, so this is the war room map that was shared. What was that? 3 episodes ago, maybe, or was it this last? Anyway, I always
Of
lose track.
the We
It's
got
the
a new
war room
one when
map.
he places the
Yeah,
toonie
showing the
down.
new
That's in the preview for the
locations.
next episode.
Showing the new locations for the
Yeah.
caissons. It was in the preview. Okay, okay.
Hmm. And we'll get to
Uh,
that.
yeah, so you'll see that this map that they're using still shows the muon locations. I don't know why they choose to use such an old aerial for their reference points, but whatever. You can see how it lines up with my stuff pretty
Lacey.
darn good. Aladdin's lines up really good. That's their little blue blob you can faintly see on their map. Then all these blue dots are what we presume to be the new caisson location, right? So what we think perhaps is this or this is the caisson that will be left in at the end of season 12.
All right. And nothing around there except head and shaft, obviously.
Yeah, head and shaft. Let me pull this layer up
Which heading and
So
um
they've only
um
drilled.
chapel area. I mean, they were like that. I mean, they knew where the money pit original location was, so you would think it would be those would be around in that same area.
Yeah, and there's that theory about Chapel's shaft that it was offset by almost 5 feet, right at the
Yeah,
bottom
yeah,
versus the top.
yeah,
So this gray
and that's
line
going to
that I
happen as well. Yeah,
yeah, this gray line that I have highlighted here is basically Chapel's bottom versus the cyan line here, which is Chapel's top. So there was the maps. Oh, I don't remember which episode it was when they started talking about that offset, but
they didn't have the GPS back then
no,
to
they
check it
didn't.
as
But
they
I
were
was
going
able to
down.
still scale the image well enough that because it still showed the relationship to head and shaft, I was able to scale the image well enough to find out that this was where they thought the bottom was. And then along that same line during that same season and episodes, which forgive me, they all blend together. Uh, they showed an image of where they thought the original money pit was, and that's where I've labeled here OMP with this little dashed circle here. So you can see they've already kind of been drilling in where we think, and also the toonie, which I hope you can still see it, the little toonie, the Canadian toonie, $2 toonie, uh, is right here in the original money, almost right there on E 7.75, 5.6.
And we do have a picture of that coming up.
Yeah, and I mean they're looking back at F4. They're looks like they're going all around C1 because here's C1 right here. You can see how I have it labeled with the 170 foot is
Right,
where they
see
found the
one
cavern. Yeah,
worth exploring more.
yeah, it's right. And again, I think it was Ryan in Discord that he was like, "Why don't you color code all the shafts and talk about
Yeah.
the depths and the dates
Yeah.
and everything?" And I was like, "Done." And because I've had that done for a very long. Um, I thought that was funny. I don't know much about the Tupper shaft. I've heard it mentioned a couple of the times. It definitely showed up as
Same.
a shaft map on another shaft map that I have, and I kind of put Tupper on there just because I've heard it called that before. So you may know more about that than I do.
No.
What I did find was interesting is, let me turn a couple things on and off
Tupper,
here.
where?
Yeah, Tupperware, right? Exactly. I had that same. You and I think a lot alike when it
That's
comes to jokingly
that's scary. Yeah.
punerific
Unlucky for
things.
the viewers.
Yeah, how lucky for everyone watching. Yes. I was going to show where they had the caissons proposed from last season versus where they were talking about doing them this year. So give me just a
So this
second.
was last season finale when they were planning it, and now it's changed already,
Yeah, let me.
even before they start putting those caissons in.
Um. Oh, I'm sorry. Turned on the wrong thing. There we go. So the purple that you now see popped up, those were all the proposed
Mhm.
caisson locations from season 11. At the end of season 11, when they showed that
Right.
map.
Definitely one in Aladdin's. Is that still in
No,
play?
there's not.
It's
And
not.
that's no, it's not. It's not. So again, the blue dots that you're seeing right now, here, with the red circles around them,
I wonder
those
if
are the ones that
the
we're proposing.
I wonder if the
That was
gold
the
in the
preview.
water
Yeah,
retracted from there as well.
yeah. There's none up here either. So
Right.
they've just completely shut down on the garden shaft and the baby blob and all that area up there that they had planned to drill.
Right. And we did have a possible collapse underground, and so maybe that stopped the water from
Oh,
flowing.
I wanted to show you something that we've never talked about, but
Okay.
this line right here. Hopefully, you can see it well enough.
Yes.
That is my determination of the drill path when they were down at 106,
The
109. What
blue
was it?
line.
Yeah, the one that's blue and
Okay.
highlighted
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the orientation and the length
Hmm.
of the drill that they drilled when the water started pouring. So you can see they penetrated that what we've been following as that proposed tunnel.
Hmm.
So why did they give up on that, man? That
I think the
boggles.
garden chapel collapsed, I guess, but yeah, it would have been great to not drill into that, and I don't know, maybe you could go straight towards the head and shaft and see if you hit anything.
Yeah, right.
Tunneling wise, but they want to do the probe drilling to see what would happen, and so I guess that's better than them just trying to go ahead and build a tunnel. Where they probably don't do that anyway. They would probably probe drill before they tunnel anyway, just so they know if there's water there or not, right?
Yeah, I guess getting back
Seems
to it,
like a safe
I
thing.
wish they would have at least kept this case on, right? Because this is actually the case on that's right in the middle of the baby blob.
Hmm.
And hold on, let me get the baby blob layer turned off. Give me just a second.
Right? Doesn't
Oh, baby blob. So there's the baby blob.
right?
And I just turned off the layer, but it is this one. Excuse me. That this dot and
Hmm.
this circle that I just put in there. That's one of the locations of the drilled stones. So
Yes, yes, I remembered one being
why do you give
okay.
up on a drilled rock location that's sitting right over a location where you're finding gold in the water and over the top of a proposed tunnel location that you really think you drilled into when you were at the shaft? I don't know. They give up too easy sometimes, I think. But
Yep,
so that's a little disappointing. But it won't be the last time we'll be disappointed by Oak Island. So,
correct.
all right. Well, let me turn off the season 11 ones, and now we can get back to talking kind of about the season 12 ones. So, obviously, the we don't know her name, the geo information
Aaron
specialist,
Helton.
Erin Helton. Okay, so Erin, when she was presenting her theory, you can see this red line, red circle was her radius based on the
Aaron,
west
don't come at don't come after me. It's all him. Whoops. Which
intersection.
way is he? He's over there.
I still think it's really interesting that it's all passing through like Gal 1 where we found gold. It's passing through H8 where
Hmm.
we found gold. It's passing through Shaft 3 where former searchers looked back in 1850 but only went down to 109 feet. So, it was deeper. We know it's deeper than that, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, this is K6. They found wood at 183 feet over here. And
Right.
what would that be?
Chapel Vault at what 170,
Yeah, Chapel's at 171.
and now probably pushed down even further than that is what they
Maybe even push
think.
down further. I don't know if I've ever shown. Let me show you my this is where I think the chapel vault is. Way away from where everybody else is looking. I don't know if they'll ever go back and get down to this area ever again. But people were looking in this area back in the 1800s. There was. Let me turn on the rest all stuff. Where's my rest?
I would have thought it would have been somewhere around the head and shaft, though,
These yellow right here. This was, and again, these just depends on when the date of the shaft was.
because
There's shaft 3 here. This shaft 3 has the same dates and depths, but this was off Restall's map showing where Professor Hamilton in 1942 came off the bottom of Hedden and was doing some exploring around, trying to intersect with other shafts. Later, the Restalls went into Professor Hamilton's and they built their shaft back off to that, which Drake Tester's caisson was done there. That's when we broke something.
yeah,
77 feet, the can broke teeth on something hard and then never went back there. Season 5, episode 13. You
right.
see my little note there.
Were they deep
So I
enough
don't
for it to
know.
be bedrock? Do you remember? So much stuff to
Well,
try to
I
remember.
mean, bedrock it varies, but here, let's go down to this view. So bedrock varies. I mean,
He has everything.
stony till down to about 100. Got more till down to about 150, so you don't get into the anhydrite, which is what they consider bedrock. Actually, the competent hydrite doesn't even start until about below 200.
Yeah. I
And I
think
know there's a lot of.
in the boreholes this season that they are drilling, I think they are going into bedrock.
Are they?
I think because I remember hearing that, unless that was the season 8 when that
I know they stopped on that one completely because Tester was like, "No, let's just stop." But I haven't really kept up with. I have on my notepad, but I really haven't noted them on. I need to go back and add notes to these before they stop drilling. And then there's all these red here boreholes from this season. But you can see they've got a proposed caisson location back there at F4, which I believe they found wood in. But I'm also speculating that some of that wood they're finding is some of Professor Hamilton's stuff too, right? Because he was down at the bottom of the Hedden shaft, so he was at least 165 feet down when he started tunneling out and over. Does that make sense?
yes,
Okay, I was just making sure you're still there.
yes. So
I know
we're
I can drone on
yeah.
sometimes.
So I'm sorry if you said it and I forgot. So where did you say the actual
So the
location
original money, the
of
original money pit is this circle, and the center is this text,
right
right? So
and we're
this yellow,
right.
dashed yellow, that is this and this that's now blue on your screen probably.
Yeah.
That is in where was it Irwin Hamilton? Irvin Hamilton in 1942 apparently
Yeah.
expanded on and off of Hedden's shaft And so he was already down at 165 feet when he started tunneling and doing his stuff. So I wonder if some of this wood they're getting into in the D.75 6.6, the D.5 7.4, the F4 is some of that corkscrewing that the drill bit does.
Right.
It drifts.
Could be
Is it
anything.
drifting back into Chapel? Is it drifting back into Professor Hamilton stuff? I
That's
mean,
why it'd be
I'd like to think we're getting into the original pit stuff, but
that's why it would be so much better to tunnel because you would know exactly where you were going because you
right.
can
Yeah.
have the GPS right there and say, okay,
What
it's
we need is a TBM. We need a tunnel boring machine. We just need to
right. Yeah. That,
quit messing
and
around.
great.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay, but
Right. So,
oh, and again, you can see so on Restall's map that white granite drilled rock shows up right in the middle of the
mhm.
baby block. Why are we not putting a case on in the baby block? Sorry,
Yeah, I mean,
that
is the goal's not even showing up there anymore, is it? Didn't it all retreat back all to down there,
back down here.
down the Headden area, Headden
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
Chapel Shaft area? Yeah.
Yeah. And what about Aladdin's? We're not going to Aladdin's, obviously,
Yeah,
apparently.
that's all I can think. They haven't said anything, but that's the only
So
reason I can think you would do that if it's not testing positive for gold anymore.
yeah, I mean,
And I mean, that's
are you?
interesting though that it collapse up here, and I don't know how big that collapse was that Dr.
Oh,
Spooner
right up
felt,
here. Yeah,
but
where was it?
I don't know how it could affect something down there to Aladdin, but maybe it can.
Well, where Spooner was standing when he said that, this is FN 14 EN
Yeah.
13, so he was in
Mhm.
this area right here when he said he felt the rumblings or whatever.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe it was the collapse of whatever the baby blob. Maybe all this is now collapsed.
Yeah, because we don't know how the water would be traveling. I guess, the solution channel, but other than that, I mean,
Oh well,
it could be going from the like Headden area and then up to the baby blob and then from there down to the
let me just
Aladdin's cave.
turn on the 150-foot solution channel.
Okay.
So
He
I
has
don't know
that. He
how
has
well
that
that
too. He
green
has
is showing
everything.
up. I don't know how well that green is showing, but
Um,
let
that
me
right there, I
highlight
can
it.
see it.
So now you can see it all
Yep,
there, right?
blue. Thank you.
Yeah, it's got little blue dots at all the vertices,
Hmm.
right? So that is Jeremy Church's one of the solution channels at 150 feet. So just based
Right.
on overlays of his maps with everything. So that's a cavernous area
Right.
at 150 feet. It encapsulates the entire money pit. I mean, the garden
And
shaft, the money pit, that's all a void according to this at
it's
150 feet.
just occurring to me now. Do we presume that's natural?
Yeah, I would think it's a breakdown of that
Uh huh.
incompetent anhydrite.
Yeah.
It's where, because again, the definition of a solution channel is where the movement of water has caused the erosion
Gotcha. Okay.
of the cavern or of the substrate, whatever that is. And in this case, it's limestone,
We've
right?
all learned
So
something today.
you
Excellent.
run water over limestone for a period of time, and it's going to dissolve and create a solution channel. So I think we're gonna find water and again I've done that before in this view. I've shown if water's coming into the finger drains, it's coming in at the cave-in pit, it's coming in at 10x, and it's coming in at the garden shaft, and it's coming in at Bravo Sierra, and it's coming in at C1 and Gal 1 and 8 and the Head Shaft and the original money pit. Everything here is below mean sea level, which is this blue line right here. So yeah, this is Church's solution
Mhm.
channel at 150 feet, right here.
Yes.
So that water gets, if that's full of water, everything else that cuts into it is going to be filled with water as well, including Aladdin's, which is this little box right here. So, this shows that Aladdin's is deep enough and sits just above where Jeremy Church's solution channel. And then, not to mention that all this down here is all open at 200 feet. This rectangle right here represents the length of the 200-foot solution channel that Jeremy Church talks about. So there's another level of cavernous
Oh,
voids even below the 150 stuff. So
So
this place is
you
all
gotta
topped
go
off.
low enough to find stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and you can see on my map here, I'm showing the
Mhm.
Muon, red Muon image that showed up, and it's below 250. We've not even drilled that deep.
Yeah, all right.
We haven't found the spot to drill that deep. So even 10x went deeper than most of the stuff we've been doing.
Right. Oh, I have a question for you when you get done with are you done with everything you
No, go
wanted to
ahead.
present?
Ask anything. You
Okay,
jump in,
so
Steve.
somebody in the JFree 906 Discord channel said something about, maybe you saw it, about he wishes that they had, when they graded out the money pit area, to take 40 feet of the soil
Oh,
off
yeah,
of
all the
it
top
and
till.
lower
Yeah,
it. So it would
yeah,
be the money pit valley
yeah,
at
right.
that
I
point.
mean,
And so what would be your thoughts on that? I thought immediately it's just that could be displacing so much stuff. Granted, they would go through every bit of spoils to check everything. If they did that, they would do that, but then you don't have it exactly where it was. If it's some kind of stone,
well,
just a little pebble or anything, that would be
I've
important.
mentioned before that I still want to go back and do the cryo freeze thing, excavate everything inside that cryo freeze area, and run it through a wash plant. Don't even spend
Yeah,
the time going finger by finger. Just sort it by size and see what
right.
kind of things pop up.
How big are you going with that though? That's the problem with that too, is because you can do it 200 feet wide and it be
And
one
still
inch
miss everything.
further out.
Yep, yep, right.
Unfortunately.
Just like Tom Burns said about having a
Right.
recliner. You know,
Right.
you're trying to find this recliner underground, and
Yeah.
you're going to miss it, especially with the deviations of the drill bits. And to go back to a point that somebody was talking about is like, how do you get a straighter drill? Well, you put a case on down because they can control the deflection of those case
Yes.
ons a lot better than they can the drill bits. So
All righty. Ready for some reaction? I don't think, have seen the preview,
oh yeah, are you going to
you
show
said?
me what the
I'm
surprise
going to show
is?
you,
Because
yeah,
I
I'm going to show
didn't
you
probably
some
haven't seen it.
additional pictures. Let's
I've seen that.
see. Is it that one? Was that one? Yeah, it's that one. Okay, that's where we left off. And that is, again, the lonely caisson all by itself. But the fact they didn't rip it up out of there, maybe that means they have a good enough reason to want to leave it there. And hopefully it's just not something with like it was going to definitely collapse if they pulled that out of there, maybe. I don't know. But
Shoot.
hopefully it's that they're not finished with that and they want to get in there more, because being in that area, that's just about where things should be, I think. As I was telling you, I'm in favor of that, not thinking that Chapel and I think who was it with no, it was, I think Frederick Blair told Hedden, I think he was still alive, and told Hedden exactly where the money pit was, and that's where Hedden put his shaft.
Right.
I
And I
think I'm
think
not
that
getting the
goes
names
back to
mixed up there.
the
Hmm.
whole chapel map showing the offset and where that original money pit location was shown as well.
Right.
So because I don't think Hedden wanted to come down right, trying to come to the side of it and then eventually get down and go in next to it because he knew that there were going to be flood tunnels and things under there. I guess I'm a little baffled
Yeah.
why he started on the Smith's Cove side of the original money pit if he knew there was a flood tunnel, unless he was trying to intersect it
Good
first so
question.
he could
Maybe
cut it off
divert it.
and then
Yeah.
yeah, pump it out or whatever. So
That trying to divert it thing doesn't seem to be working though.
I mean, have you tried to stop water?
Nothing.
It's
No, I have
hard.
not. I haven't
Yeah,
needed to, fortunately.
right, right.
Fortunately.
I understand it's difficult.
Again, this is where this is RF1 location. And so we are down. I don't know if you can see my cursor. You
Yep.
probably can't.
No,
You
no,
can? You can. I don't think
I
they
can.
can.
I don't know if
But
they can.
like around um You're saying that case, it's further out here, just a little bit than that. It's close to that though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, where
It's
we were talking
how
about
far? How
her
far?
intersection point and mine.
18
Yeah,
feet?
yeah, 18 feet, 17.96 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so just
What's a
out
couple
here toward, and what direction would
130?
you call that from the, because I think this, I mean, this is pretty much looks like it's north aligned, right?
Say again.
It's pretty much a north aligned, right? The garden shaft looks like it's at the right angle for it to be
Oh,
north aligned.
with this view right here, yeah,
Yeah,
it is. That looks
pretty
like they're
close.
looking directly
Right.
north.
And
Yeah,
so
real
what
close.
direction from RF1 here would you say that that last case
Well,
on is
oh,
in?
direction RF1 from here would be almost directly west of where that caisson is right there.
Okay, directly west. So, okay.
Yeah.
And right.
You're
And
thinking this is the caisson they left in the ground? Is that what this image is?
no, this is, yeah, well,
This
no,
is
this
RF.
is RF1, but I'm trying to get bearings on where it would be in the money pit
Oh
area.
yeah, yeah. So RF1. So the caisson that we think they left in the ground is a little bit west east of this caisson shown here.
East, right. Yeah.
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 But you're right. You
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I didn't catch that. You said the wrong thing. Okay, so jumping ahead to the next episode, which is very excellently named Best Case on Scenario. So it's time to start oscillating
yeah.
as
Now oscillation.
Madame from Rock Equipment would say. I can't believe Vanessa
Vanessa. Yeah.
but would
What's her
say
name?
oscillating. And
Oscillate.
so it's time to do that. But this is the vault and filled up with
Yeah.
water
What we're
again, I
calling the
guess. I
swamp
guess it keeps
swamp vault,
filling.
right?
Beg your pardon?
Swamp vault.
Yes, because it keeps filling with water. And Katja
Katya.
Drayton gets her pin pointer out and goes down there and pulls that out. Doesn't do anything good to zoom in on that. And I'm just noticing now, what is that R for right there? Do you see that R? Looks like a capital R almost.
Between his legs, or
Yeah. What
I
is
don't know.
that?
It's hard to see
Is
your
that a
image on my
branch or
screen.
something? I'll have to
I
look
don't
for
think
that. It looks like an R there and a triangle right here. I don't know what that would be. That'll give you a coincidence that looks like an
Yeah.
R and a triangle there. So we'll see. We'll
Gibbs.
see about that, right? Let's see. So she pulls that out, and theoretically, it's this item that they go to the lab, and Carmen Legg happens to be there. And how
Face
would
that
you
Carmen.
like to have found something that makes Carmen Legg be like
Make that face.
flabbergasted about it? Exactly. Exactly. How would you like to
I
be
noticed
that person that finds it?
Corian laughed when that image popped up the other
Yeah.
night too.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would seem that's
Love you,
awesome.
Carmen.
Now they did
Is
talk about the arsenic in. I'm assuming that's metal. That she pulled out something metal from there, and about
yeah.
the arsenic in there, and so that's gonna make
Is
it
this the one that
older.
had the silver spike?
Beg your pardon?
Is this the one that has the silver spike in it also?
I'm sorry. One more time.
The silver. And there's one coming up here soon that we're gonna see that had silver in it.
I didn't see that. I didn't see
Wasn't
that
that
on
was
this one.
Jeff
That
was talking
wasn't
about
this
that?
one. That was one that
Okay,
was previous find.
gotcha.
So, and yeah, I can't see those, and I didn't think to try to zoom in earlier. My bad. So we don't know on
Well,
that.
I know gold and silver would be further to the right here, I believe, because just from previous
Oh, okay.
analysis,
Yeah, yeah, and
those
different
spikes are usually
colored as well,
relatively
I
at the
think.
same locations.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And
Oh, that looks like a
void.
drill bit.
They hit a void in their drilling program as they continue to try to get information to pick out caisson spots for the best caisson scenario for themselves. And so they think they hit a void in there, and voids generally are good because if it's full with soil, you can't have any artifacts or treasure there. You know, I mean, you can have it packed in there, but like a big amount of tray. Oh, and I forgot to say, sorry, going back to the vault. Rick does say treasure chest sized for this hole.
Sure.
Yep. I mean, you could have any size you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, and
just
I
ask.
think the Spanish didn't they use small a lot of small ones. They use fairly
Is there like
small
I
ones,
wonder, that's a good
like
question
about
though. I've never
that
really thought
big.
about looking into that. Was there a standard sizing to treasure chests?
I don't think so.
You know, they
Probably
were
not.
always,
They probably put it wherever.
yeah, I mean, just what depending on what the carpenter wanted to make, right?
Right.
Or
And
did they say
some
make me a box 2 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot
yeah,
or
and some didn't use
cubits
other
by a
things, even
cubit by
like
a cubit
bags and other things instead of chests.
bags? I guess the thing with bags is they would deteriorate, so would wood, right? But
Right. Or
mm,
like like pots. They do pots and they would
oh, pots, yeah, yeah,
like
right.
put a seal around it
Well,
so
you
that it would
figure
be
that's why they found the
watertight.
Dead Sea Scrolls was they were
Mm-hmm.
in pottery
Mm-hmm.
with seals over the top of them. So,
You know your
hmm,
history, sir.
oh, I try to pay attention.
And here we are with the, is this the only one I have of this? No, I don't think I have the good one, don't
That's the
I? I
old one,
hope.
right?
Is this the old one?
No, that is the new one. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because that doesn't have
I do have the
anything up by
next one,
the
but so
garden
this is
shaft.
it. So again, you have the um and why wouldn't you get a new picture of the current money pit?
Right, that's what I said. Why are they continuing to stick with this old image that you've got a drone? Just fly it up and get an accurate new image. But
Yeah,
maybe they're doing it. Maybe they're doing it to confuse us.
maybe because I mean the
They like
terrain
keep it.
is all different. But anyway,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And
anyway,
it's not even oriented north. They got it like 45 degrees to kind of throw us off too. So
just nitpicking.
it's just us.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we
Oh, I
can't
thought I
figure it
had it.
out.
I don't have it. I don't have it for
Can't
that
hide from
new.
us.
Oh, it's already in place. The tuning is, isn't that right
Oh,
there?
that's not the Toonie one. Yeah.
Oh, it's not. I got the wrong
No.
one. I'm so sorry. Do you know approximately where on this map it would be then?
So see that cluster of four?
Yeah,
Move your mouse so I can see to the left. Yeah, right. So that cluster of four right down there. Just a little more. Up a little more. No, not the new.
this.
Yeah, that. Those four dots right there.
One,
The four
two,
blue dots.
three, four. It might be five. I don't know.
Could potentially be, but the
Because
maybe
see,
the
that's
fifth
two
one
right there,
is.
and you can see the space in between it. No, I guess that's two, and it's just closer.
So the
Okay,
Toonie
sorry
would
to
be.
interrupt. So about right here.
Yeah, right. You're almost exactly right there. Which they can't see it
It
on the
seems
video,
like
but
right. It seems yeah. Okay, and so you got to think about this is
so
not nowhere near aligned to north because it would have to be flipped out probably about
45 degrees.
145 degrees. Yeah.
It's about, yeah. Another thing I mentioned is I don't know why they use this image oriented the way,
Yeah.
unless it's just to keep us confused. So
It could be. Also, it's on two people or people on different sides of the table are also looking at it. So who knows? But yeah, it's hard to keep
we know
track of
though.
it.
It doesn't matter. We have enough reference points at this point. We can rotate
Yeah.
an image any way we need to.
And I think that's probably all I have. This show, Hunting History, seems like it could be interesting. I probably will watch it, but probably not until
Oh, that's the one where the guy
the
goes and finds the lost village of Roanoke or whatever.
right. But the first one he did was something different. I can't remember what it
Oh,
was,
I see. Yeah, it did look interesting.
but yeah, and I
The Roanoke one did, anyways.
yes. I'm originally from Virginia, so I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
am very
I
interested in
lived
Roanoke
there for
as well.
3 years.
Mhm.
So
Stop chasing me around. And I think that's all I have, do I? Yeah, because that puts me back to there. Okay, so
yeah, I think
anything else you can think of, sir?
no, just a good recap. I mean, just trying to follow back on.
Mhm.
I kind of have stopped. I've watched all these before, but it's been a long time ago. Obviously, when they first aired, and then I stopped watching the recaps at 7 just because I started a new job 6 months ago and haven't had a lot of free time until now. And I'm interested. I'm curious to go back through them myself and see kind of things that I
Right.
missed. But
I've seen them all. There's a lot of stuff that I
yeah,
just don't
because
remember. I didn't remember anything about the Geographic Information Systems expert,
yeah,
Aaron
I'm glad you brought
Helton. And
this up because I had
again,
completely forgot about it.
I'll give you his address, Aaron,
Oh, did
if
you
you
want to
want to
talk
take
about
issue with him. But
the
I mean, maybe
morphine?
she would have different data now as well. So who knows?
I was gonna look at that. Let me bring something up here real quick.
Okay.
If you want to go back to my map
Yeah.
real
There you
quick.
go.
So Steve also sent me this image. Oh, let me.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
This was you said this was Corian and Christopher Morford's.
Yes, some of their information, and it's probably in the Jerusalem Files book,
Here
probably,
it is.
because
Yeah,
this
most definitely.
was way before that book came out,
Ah, this
which
one.
was just last year.
Okay, yeah. So this was the image you shared with me from their episode
Yes.
showing the two pentagrams at different scales based on the Nolan's cross dimensions.
Mhm.
But what's interesting enough is let me turn on Kabbalah.
Yeah, this is based on Nolan's
Yeah,
cross alignments that they did
so
and
this is like their
pentagrams.
interpretation of what the and I guess I missed this episode also or wasn't paying enough
Didn't
attention
remember.
because
Yeah.
what I did was I did a little bit based on what I knew. So I knew that wait,
And they didn't mention these Tree of Life points. They didn't mention those at
no, but it's
all in
very
this.
clear that oh yeah, because that's right. So this the beauty, which is okay, yeah, and there's so this is John Edwards' beauty right here, the very tip of the menorah. I don't know if you realize that or not, but where his
No,
beauty is different. So even Steve Guptill has a note on his cone D that says beauty. But remember, they were calling that John Edwards beauty was this location right here. And I always told you I thought it was weird that John Edwards had his beauty here and his foundation here. So it was literally one different. But
hmm
every image of the Kabbalah that I've seen has this arm going straight across, not uh and no intersecting Sephiroth at that point. The intersection of beauty and others are down here were between glory and mercy in that. So I always thought it was weird that John Edwards was here. So last season when they were digging at John Edwards' beauty spot, that was apparently the tip of of Corey and Chris's menorah. Crazy. And this right here, these two little white boxes right here, that is your vault, our swamp vault. So
right.
can't really see any relationship as far as why that would be relative to what they were seeing, but still very interesting that that menorah plays out that way in the Kabbalah and again, this made me look at. Let me turn this off just so it may be a little less confusing. Turn this, this off. So that would be where their menorah is in to everything else on the map. But then I don't show this often. This is something that I did when I was analyzing the tree, and I call it cross radials. So this is if you draw a line, if you start at CA and you draw a line through CB, CC, CD, CE, oh, and the other Sephiroths, all these intersecting cyan lines are like if you did that also at Mercy and you did it and you drew it back to the headstone and then back to CC and then so that's what I'm calling radials. So if you stood at each stone and you drew a radial arm to every other stone that was on the island, this is kind of the matrix that gets presented in that. in that regard.
Spaghettios is what I would
Yeah,
call
yeah,
it.
big spaghetti map. But I thought it was interesting that some of those points are like, you know, they form other geometries in other places, and one of them happens to pass right through the garden shaft. One of them happens to pass right down here through where I think the chapel vault is. You know,
If you have some theory or you have some alignment you'd like to see, I can't say, depending on how many we get, I can't say that, or if we don't think it's interesting enough, we may not do it, but you can try it. Maybe we'll do that for you if you have an
yeah,
interesting
right.
idea for an
If
alignment
anybody,
that we
if
haven't
anybody
thought
wants to
of
see
yet.
alignments, but you know, might be interesting to see what's right here, where all those intersections go.
Oh yeah.
Might be
Where is
interesting to
that?
see what's
What
going on
lot
right
is
here.
that?
Well, so let me turn the Kabbalah back on. Just a second. Victory, mercy, foundation. So that is that coincidence that now again all those lines that you over going to
Right,
some other
but
place we haven't
that
even checked yet.
is
I mean, look at Glory. Glory's got a lot.
yeah, is that in the Glory's not in the swamp, is it?
Glory is not in the swamp. Glory is. So again, you can see even how my line forming up against the pentagrams that Chris and
Hmm.
Corian were talking about. So I mean, geometry is geometry. When you draw a line, it goes from point to point. That's the whole basis of a line. So no, Glory is not in the swamp. It's on lot 9, which what swamp is pretty much this triangle you're seeing right here. So here's Swamp Road, here's Nolan's Peninsula. Yeah.
Oh, and what Chris and Corin uh, gave the team from that alignment work that they were doing with Nolan's Cross was 2 points, one on the west side of the swamp and one on the right side of the swamp. And
Sure,
they
which would have
found
been
a
these
trench
points,
feature on the
this point, and this point, I believe.
yes, yes, and they
Yeah.
found a trench feature on that west side. The east side they dug, but they had mechanical problems. So, and I don't remember if they followed up on that ever. Um, but on that east side, when Fred Nolan had graded all that out, it was all disturbed soil from
Oh
when
yeah,
he
right,
when
because
he
of
built
where
his
he tore his
peninsula
peninsula. Yeah,
there. But on the
you
west
can really.
side, and is on lot 11 where Anthony Graves is, and Graves is coming up in season 12 as well, because his house is fairly close to the vault.
Are you still seeing my map?
Yes. Yeah, I
So
didn't
this
I
is
didn't put up anything.
lidar off,
Yeah.
and you can see the disturbance that Fred did when he was grading and pushing
Hmm.
his his peninsula out there.
Yeah.
So he tore up all this property right here, in addition to everything that Dunfield had done when he tore up all his stuff over here. So I feel like they should ban excavators on Oak Island.
And
And I
just
feel like
and
that's
just
also
and
kind of
just
like
have Lair do all of it.
just have Larry do
You
everything,
need a
right?
lot of
No,
archaeological
I know.
archaeological
I think some of
assistance.
that's the frustration that Marty gets is it's like, it's painstakingly slow
Right.
on lot 5 he's talking
Right.
about.
Well,
He
maybe my
wants to
great
go in there so
grandkids
bad
will
with an
be
excavator
around
and
when
just
this is
find the
done.
treasure. Yeah. Just show me the treasure.
Hmm. If it was that easy, somebody would have gotten into it
So we would
before
have
them.
found it already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's definitely elusive.
So, but yeah, I don't remember what
Steve
ended
blew
up
my mind with
happening.
the menorah thing. I didn't catch that episode, so I didn't see all this.
Right. I don't
So
remember what.
Corian and Chris, if you're listening, there's your
Yeah.
beautiful pentagrams and your
Props, you
menorah on.
guys. And Corin just put a video on
Oh
his
yeah.
channel, or the Jerusalem Files YouTube channel, of another megalithic cross formation in Yorkshire, England.
In Yorkshire,
Yeah, Yorkshire.
the Beard Hill, Baird Hill, or Beard Hill.
Right.
All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's that right now on the
Okay.
suit continues. I guess. Right. We're
Maybe
still.
more of a deep dive since it's 55 minutes.
Oh, we
Uh,
almost did an hour. How about
yeah.
that?
Well, it just time gets away from you when you're talking Oak Island.
That's right. Agreed. It's our passion, so it
Alrighty.
comes.
And speaking of deep dives, we will do another one of those when we are able. And thank you so much for watching. And
Thanks
again,
for
that
having
next
me. Thank you.
episode
Thank
is
you.
called Best Case on Scenario. That'll be this Tuesday, and I will, as always, be recapping that late Tuesday night after the episode is over. You can get
Give Steve a thumbs up.
ZIG. You can get more ZIG at youtube.com/Don Capo Productions. Right? Yeah, Don Capo
That's correct.
Productions. Yep. Alrighty.
Give him a thumbs up.
Thank you,
Subscribe.
sir.
Comment.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
Thanks for your
Thank you
time,
for
Steve.
answering my question
Yeah.
and
Keep sending the
proving me
images. Keep
wrong.
keep reminding me of all the things I forgot.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sempre avanti.